Okay, okay, no, this will be the last video in the series. Now, we've done quite a lot here, but I suppose the next part to show you is how I sort of went from it looking like this and looking pretty rubbish to looking alright. So, it's going to be a little bit, like, I don't know if you can tell with this particular video, I've just sort of made the game and just sort of blagged my way through it rather than I usually do a bit more structure than this, but hopefully it's still easy to follow. So, the first thing to do is you need to take your tile map and you need to search for the Tazumi tile map editor and get onto here. Now what you can do is click on the link and then you can paste your tile map there and then upload it, and what should happen is you see this is my map quite nicely. Now the best thing for you to do is whatever image editing software you might use, like for example, I use Photopea, so this is this one here. That's because I don't have Photoshop, so I've got Photopea here, and what I can do is it's basically Photoshop online. What I can do is I can take a snip of this, and you want to be as accurate as you can, and then just do whatever, new project, create, and then paste in your map there. Now if you just delete that, and then you've got that picture there to copy in later on. Now depending on the size of your map, now I think, as far as I'm aware, the actual image I've got, so in this point I've just got it to the height and the width of the screen, but really my actual image I'm going to use is actually 700 by 600, and that's because that's how many tiles I think I've got. If I just look into here, I've got 66 by 65 is how many bits I've used in my game. Ooh, just got my headphone caught. So yes, that's how wide my map goes. You can see there. So 65 width and 66 in height. Now my tile size is 10, so what I just need to do is make sure go file new and then just go, we've got 66 rows, so the height is going to be 66 plus times by 10, and then that is my canvas size. So I can then create that, and then I can just copy my picture here and paste it in, just making sure it fits. So that is my map. Now what I want to do next is, and I'm not going to draw the whole thing, I'm going to leave this down to you guys. We want to go to view, and then we want to show the grid, but obviously at the moment that grid's not quite what we want it to be. So what we need to do is add some guides of 10 by 10. That shows how big one of these blocks should be, and then if I remember rightly, what we need to do is change, I've forgotten on top of my head, I'll get back to it in a minute, I'm sure I'll figure it out. It's not there, it's a settings thing you've got to do, it's not guides. The ruler just helped that, that's what it is. Double click that, there we go, got it in the end. So you click the ruler and then you just choose 10, and you see there we just need to fit, so you see out my squares. You can probably get rid of that actually. So yeah, also this will have to depend on where's it? Clear guides, there we go. It'll depend on the software you're using, but for Photopea that means that each of these squares now is perfect for putting your images on. Now what you want to do as well is go to something like OpenGameArt, and then I think I'll show you the one I've used. I'll let Alex sort of explain what I've done. So I think I searched for racing, and then I used it's a bit slow sometimes. It wasn't this one because I originally used that one but I didn't like it. On that one either. Please tell me I can find it. That one was decent though, but I think one where you could have mud floors as well that I liked a bit more. Could be in that one. Possibly it's that one. I don't think it was. Helps I didn't actually create on this computer, so I can't actually find the exact one. Let's just go back to the start, see if I can see it. Doesn't particularly matter, you can use any of them, but it's not, I don't think it's that one. But we'll soon find out. I think it might have been this one. It might have been this one. This one's quite good. This Kenny guy does quite a lot. That's quite good. It could have been that one. It might possibly have been that one I said I didn't use. It depends if it's got different colour tracks. I don't think it's that one. But I definitely had a racetrack. I might just put road in. But either way, let's just try road tiles maybe. But again, what I'll do is I'll link it as a whatchamacallit as well once I find it, because it's on my other computer, which isn't great, but it's definitely one of these ones. It's not an isometric one, and basically what you do is you get one of these tile maps anyway, and like these little squares, and you draw your picture over the top. So if I just grab, because I've already drawn this, you see, if I just grab mine and I pop it in over, what you'll see is if I just make this one transparent, you see there that how I've drawn this is based on this drawing I've got. Obviously I've got this little bit, I think I'm probably slightly out on this particular image, but that's pretty much my path. So all I've done is copy these little individual tiles to draw the road. Now it's, if you know how the tiles work, like if they, how the turns are and things, it's a lot easier to do. If you draw your map first though, then try and get a tile map over top. This is no correct way of doing it, but I found it easier in this instance to draw it first and then do a tile map, but it was a bit of a faff, if I'm honest with you. So once you've got your image, like I have, that's that sorted. Then what we can do is we can then take that picture, which I'll just grab from here, and then what we can do is we can just draw this in. So in our draw function, what we can do is add in where we had before. Joe said about the camera.on here. What we can do is we can do image, then we're going to throw in our BG image. We're going to load in a second. I'm going to draw that at 0, 0, and then I'm going to do all sprites dot draw. This is because if you draw a picture, we want it to draw the picture first and then all the sprites on top of the picture, because we're going to hide all this rubbish as well. So what we're going to have to do is load our picture in as a preload. So we can just do, let's just hide this again, we don't need this matrix anymore for a long time. Function preload. Now what I've actually got in mind is quite insane, because I've got all the cars in mind as well, but for now we don't need to worry about that too much. So we've got a picture there that should then load that. Okay, so there you go. So you see it's lined up pretty well. If I just put the camera.zoom to zoom out a bit, so let's just do 0.5, we should be able to see pretty much the whole thing. Maybe I'm silly. Is it 0.05 it needs to be to zoom right out? That's too much. Let's just try that. Because we want to be able to actually see the map. That's better, so you can see my red blocks around the path slightly. It's just how I've drawn it. Looks pretty spot on. So now what I can do is I can go to my border and just do border dot visible equals false. And you see now that's my map sorted. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? So now I can just zoom in as normal, just to what you could do as well, if you wanted to, is if you want to make it a little bit more pixelated, you could add in here the pixelated parameter as well. pixelated, and that makes it slightly more pixely and zooms in a little bit, so it just looks a bit more fitting. That's the car's driving, nothing's changed there, nothing particularly interesting. So that's my map drawn, and my AI car's working, and I can drive, and I'm a bit faster than them, but I can race around them. So that's that part sorted. So the next thing I think is we want to get it so the cars look decent as well. So again, I've got a bunch of cars from here, so I could just search for racing again, and I think one of these, I don't think I particularly use them, but these are fine. Those are top down, doesn't really matter. Any top down racing ones, this yellow racing car is fine. As I said, I've got lots because I've already done them. So what I would do is preload all those images in. Now I think just for the sake of everything being simple, I don't think I necessarily need to go mad, so I'm just going to use this red car image that I've already got. So I'm just going to hopefully find that, download that, and add it in. So now I can say cars.image equals red car for now. And I think the cars are going to be really big, so they're all massive. That's why we had this scaling from earlier on. So that should scale it right down so it'll make a bit more sense. So that looks better. Obviously, what you could do is just have what I have in my game is an array of car images, and each car when they spawn just chooses one, and they all have a different colour or whatever. That's one way of doing it, but I'm just going to stick with the one colour for now. I don't think we need to go into that much detail. This is for you to do. So that's pretty much the majority of the game sorted. There's a couple of things I added to my game which is quite good to have. So what I do as well is I have a timer to start the game, so you've got time to actually begin. So what I do is I have in my setup, I have a set interval. So I've got a set interval, and I'm going to do a countdown like that. I'm going to do that 3, 2, 1, so it's going to be every second. And then my function for my countdown is just going to be function countdown. And I'm just going to say if my timer, so I'm going to make a variable for that, is greater than 0, timer minus equals 1. Otherwise, I'm just going to clear that interval so it's not wasted RAM. So interval, and then countdown like that. And then I'll just make a timer, I think, what, 3, 2, 1 makes sense. So we'll just do let timer equals 3 like that. And then what we need to do is actually have it so we can't play the game unless the timer's got to 0. So what we can do is just do something on the lines of, we can't use the controls and the AI won't move unless the timer equals 0 like that. So then now it should theoretically, if it works, 3, 2, 1, and they go. Okay, so that's wet, that's raced, and then I think what else might we need? I think drawing that probably makes sense as well. So if timer is 0, otherwise, what I might do is I'll make a function called draw the timer. I'm going to call that, and then I've already got some code here, so I'm just going to put this in there. Now what I am going to have to do is turn the camera off there so we can draw a timer afterwards, and then I've just changed all the car's speed so it's random, and then this part here was what I used for changing the images, so I'll get rid of that because I don't want to do that. And then I just need to make a function to draw the timer. So literally all I'm going to do for that is just draw a box. So I'm not going to talk you through it, I'm just going to draw a box and put some text in it. So see, I've got a fill there of a box with a white box with some alpha in it. We draw some bits on there, so hopefully that works. So it should say 3, so we've got error there. Other cars not defined, that's purely down to me being lazy because it's just cars. So now it should say 3, 2, 1, and the cars drive, and they're all driving at different speeds. So that's pretty much that part done. And that's about it really. So I can play with the controller, I can play with the keyboard. It all works. Obviously I've just got this here. It's not particularly the best. It's much better driving with a thing, but I still get stuck, so I can't go through the walls. So the features are all there. The cars have got a slight advantage because they can cut the corners slightly, but you could always just neaten up. See, they can cut across slightly. I can't. So maybe slightly adjusting the borders would help for that. But that's pretty much your bread and butter for starting your top-down racing game. Obviously, you probably want like a timer in the corner. You might want to put in how many laps you've done, and when you get to 3 laps, it calculates a winner. But I'll leave that down to you guys. But a short 3 videos on how to make a game, how to draw it, make it look nice, and how to map it all out on the screen. So fingers crossed that was good. You enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.